to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, September 24th. Over the next couple of days, quiet conditions are expected across the Great Basin. We will have some smoke impacts over southern areas of the Great Basin today, and then over western areas of the Great Basin Saturday as westerly flow picks up. Increasing winds are expected on Sunday ahead of another area of low pressure approaching the west coast, so we will see gusty winds and dry conditions, along with critical fuels over parts of western Nevada, especially the Sierra Front. Also, moisture will be pushing up from the south, so you will see an increase in some showers and thunderstorms over far southern areas of Utah, the Arizona Strip, and far southern Nevada. Looking at the near-surface smoke impacts, you can see today, again, mainly just far southern Nevada, and then as we move into tomorrow, that smoke does increase as westerly flow increases over the western half of Nevada and the Sierra. Similar conditions aloft. Over the last 24 hours, we did see a few isolated thunderstorms over the higher terrain of Utah. Also a few showers accompanied that, but fairly light conditions with most of the activity further south. Great Basin fire activity was light with just a few new smaller fires reported. Over the last 7 to 14 days, the only real precipitation has been over parts of Idaho into northwest Nevada with dry conditions over the southern half of the Great Basin and over central Idaho. Currently, our fuel conditions are increasing. We are seeing our fuel moistures are decreasing. Our ERCs are increasing across the Great Basin with warmer and drier conditions. Some areas that are still critical or near critical will be along the Sierra Front and possibly over parts of central Idaho. Looking at some of our ERC charts, you can see the ERCs have come down but are still above normal over parts of central Idaho and the Sierra Front. Our satellite loop from this morning shows high pressure off the west coast is now building eastward, pushing a trough of low pressure to the east. So again, we will have warmer and drier conditions over the next couple of days, but you can see the moisture in the south over Arizona, and this will be pushing its way slowly north into far southern areas of the Great Basin by either later on Saturday or into Sunday. Looking at our weather conditions for later today, again, warm and dry conditions, temperatures increasing, significant fire potential generally on the low side, but we will see some areas of moderate fire potential in parts of southern and western Nevada that are on the drier side. Relative humidity today will decrease across Idaho, Wyoming, and northern Utah as now the moisture has moved off to the east, and generally be in the teens across the area and just above 20% further north, with lighter winds today than what we saw yesterday. As we move into Saturday, similar conditions, warm and dry conditions, but that moisture gets a little bit closer to far southern areas of the Great Basin, still low to moderate fire potential. And similar relative humidity, generally low to mid-teens across most of the area and the 20s and some of the higher elevations up north. Winds will start to increase a little bit across Idaho on Saturday, just some gusts in the 20s, and also over parts of the Sierra Front, we will see some gusts in the 20s as well. As we move into Sunday, this trough of low pressure off the west coast gets a little bit closer, so we will see wind increase a little bit more, probably more of our typical Washoe zephyr or a slightly enhanced zephyr along the Sierra Front, so we do have some high risk for the gusty winds and dry conditions, and that's mainly in areas where our fuels are critical. Looking at the relative humidity map, again, dry conditions over most of the area, we will see the relative humidity increasing over parts of southern and eastern Utah, the Arizona Strip, and southern Nevada as that moisture works its way north. And again, looking at the wind picture on the right, you can see gusts return to the 30s over parts of the Sierra Front into northwest Nevada, also into Idaho and even parts of southern Nevada. But it's really along the Sierra Front where fuels are most critical and where we will see those winds couple with dry conditions. Forecast amounts of precipitation through Sunday are shown here. You can see the moisture in Arizona pushing north up into far southern Utah and the Arizona Strip and possibly far southern Nevada with, again, some isolated showers and thunderstorms and probably more scattered areas of precipitation. As we go into early next week, conditions will certainly start to change as that strong area of low pressure off the west coast moves a little bit closer to the Pacific Northwest, so we will see winds increasing or remain about the same on Monday as we'll see on Sunday over parts of the Sierra Front. So we will be watching those winds to see if we need another high risk. Looks like gusts generally in the 30s in those areas. Moisture will remain over southern and southeast Utah for continued isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms. As we move into Tuesday, this trough of low pressure and cold front really swings to the east, so we will see a more significant cool down starting on Tuesday in the north. Also, the moisture over southern Utah will now be pushing north into much of the eastern half of Utah and even up into Wyoming, and we'll also see some showers moving into Idaho with this cold front. Winds will also be on the increase, so we will see some pretty gusty winds on Tuesday, but again, we will see cooler temperatures and increasing relative humidity over many of these areas. As we move into Wednesday, the trough moves into the Great Basin, so this will push the cold front through western areas, so you will see those winds shift to the north. Still dry behind the cold front, so we're not expecting really much moisture along parts of the Sierra front or western Nevada with this front. Most of the moisture will be across parts of Idaho, Wyoming, and really across Utah. And then going into Thursday, the cold front moves further east, still holding on to some moisture over eastern areas of the Great Basin. Looking at the precipitation with this cold front, again, you can see most of the precipitation is really with the moisture moving north in Utah, but we will see some showers in parts of Idaho and Wyoming with really more lighter amounts across Nevada. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, taking us into the first week of October, showing generally warmer conditions and drier conditions across the region. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.